So it's been like a week since transgender activist, not even activist, influencer Dylan Mulvaney, as you see there in this Bud Light ad, has shaken up the entire world because she grabbed a Bud Light and drank it. So boycotts have come around. Stories about how Bud Light's going out of business have come about. AR-15s, as you see here with Kid Rock shooting them at his lake, have come about. It's wild. So, of course, as all this is going down, I thought conservatives would be very happy about this absolute and utter dismantling of Anheuser-Busch. I guess they want to directly do it because this is what's happening now. A Budweiser factory in L.A. was targeted by bomb threats this week in the wake of the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. Yeah, that lib Los Angeles. A spokesperson for Anheuser-Busch confirmed Friday that, in fact, multiple additional facilities across the country have also faced some of these threats, but the exact number and locations are unknown. There's other parts about this because there's several bars in the Missouri area. They had to cancel their scheduled shows. They were bringing out some of the Clydesdales, some of the iconic horses that are part of Anheuser-Busch, and people see them trotting down the street and they think, I want a damn beer that tastes like pee. That's what I want. So it's been promotion of these things. Still, folks are still upset about it, and they've taken it to the next level because that news story's dried up. The fact that they just heard of Dylan Mulvaney for the first time last week and now they're mad about it, that's over because who cares? And the next step is this, bomb threats. And then now apparently the CEO of Anheuser-Busch is in hot water. Let's watch.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand.
Apologies. That actually is a video of the vice president of marketing for Budweiser. Her name is Alyssa Heinerschneid. And apparently that was a couple weeks beforehand because people are now seeing that lower level marketing VP is underneath the CEO here, who's a part of this whole rebranding. And let's just pause there for a second, Jess. I'd like you to jump in here too, because this was her approach, which seems like the most normal approach ever. Yo, we're looking to make some more money, so we'll market to new audiences. Our whole background has been the beer kegs and the beer stands and the pouring into the frat party type of look, and we want to expand. Maybe our drinkers are getting older and we're looking for this new crop of people. But for some reason, that thought of capitalism, unfettered capitalism, is offensive to them because you're including people that I think are weird. And that's, again, our childlike approach to this. I'm going to get to the CEO in a second. But first, just on this whole bomb threat thing and how no matter what, this is just more American Taliban work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's terrorism. Dylan is not someone who's very radical. Dylan is just someone who is trans in public. She's not pushing for, education in schools in a particular way. She's not pushing for drag brunch or drag book readings. She's not pushing for any kind of policy changes that these folks don't like. She's literally just existing in public. But it's something more than that, I think, for the people who are really triggered and upset about this, to the extent that they're willing to commit acts of violence towards a company. They want to be pandered to. They want to be the target of advertising. They're used to being in the center of advertising in America. Everything's catered towards this white male, this white suburban family. And now that that's shifting, does that mean that power shifting in our society? Maybe. I think that's precisely why they're mad. They're not so much mad that someone who is trans got this deal and is making money and is getting more attention. They're mad that this means they're no longer the target audience for literally all of corporate America. And it's crazy because these are the same people who are like, we hate communism, we hate the woke socialists. This is the free market working to find their consumer base. That's really all that's going on here. And they're pretty triggered by it. I think they need to think a little bit more deeply about themselves and why they're triggered by it instead of just acting on that anger. But I don't think we'll see that, JR.
Oh, yeah, the anger is there because, for folks who've always been catered to and have always been in the majority, and if some of those folks wielding that in a dangerous way, they're like, wait a second, people are paying attention to someone else? You mean someone that I always called weird and a wacko is actually getting attention from standard people and probably a broad base of them? I need to get violent. That's the thought process. Let's go to the second half of this whole story because, again, the CEO is now the one that's getting pushed, which, by the way, is a Republican. Let's keep it. This guy is a Republican, and he's also a veteran. But this is what's been discovered about him. Let's go to this first tweet here. So I am meme, therefore I am. Meet Brendan Whitworth, ex-CIA and former CEO of Anheuser-Busch. And they say the company wants you to believe that this guy wasn't aware of Bud Light partnering with a guy who mocks women for a living. So I want you to pause there and jump in anytime you want, Jess. This is the first thought that comes across. This guy's a former CIA operative. So therefore, he's weaponizing this trans influencer to be thrust upon us. And then do what exactly? There's no final answer. It's just, see that scary person we told you to be afraid of? This guy's used to work for the CIA. So that means what? I can't come up with an answer.
Yeah, I would love to just ask them. So would you tell me a little bit about what the CIA typically gets up to and what that has to do at all with this? I would love to hear them come up with something, anything. The CIA typically works on behalf of US-based multinational corporations. I'm sure all they care about is making more money, which is all they've ever cared about. The CIA does not have a trans agenda. Be so serious. They don't know what they're talking about.
Just like the CIA historically has had this pro-black agenda that promotes and absolutely exonerates black people that have always done bad things and has been browbeating the white Americans of the world. The most powerful, the CIA has always come after the most powerful and connected people in our society.
The CIA went woke.
So there's a few more tweets. Benny Johnson tweeted it because this has now become a thing that they have to go with and say, look at Brendan Whitworth, again, Republican, former, I think he was in the Navy or something. But they're not talking about the fact that he's a veteran. They're talking about the fact that he's a former CIA and did nothing as far as any of this stuff except trying to make more money. He became a businessman. He made a lot of money. He still is.